Hey guys, what's happening? AnimetalViking here. Before we get into the show, I would just like to encourage you all to check out Thomas's channels. They will be linked in the description box below and at the end of this video. Also be sure to show my buddy Claudio some love and support as well. The link to his channel is also in the description box. And yeah, guys, enjoy the show and I shall see you at the end of the video.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what is happening? And welcome to the 9th episode of the AnimetalKast podcast with me, your host AnimetalViking, and my dear friend, Claudio and I.
What's up?
And today we are joined with our guest who is Thomas of the channel Massive Destiny Reactions. How are you today, Thomas?
Hello, Russell. I'm doing very fine.
Awesome.
How are you doing?
We're doing great. We're doing absolutely fantastic. Okay, so for all the listeners out there, before we get any further into this podcast, I would like to encourage you all to check out the description box below, where Thomas's channel will be linked, and it will also be linked at the end of this video as well if you're interested in checking him out. So without further delay, let us get into this. Okay, so Thomas, could you tell the listeners out there what exactly it is that you do on your channel and what kind of content you make?
Well, Russell, I am doing mainly reactions. That's what I started out with. And I wanted my channel to be a pure reaction channel, but the last months I've been trying to do other things. So, but it's mainly reactions now, and we'll see where we go in a later period of time. So,
Awesome.
yeah, try not laughs, try not to headbang. Yeah, many challenges. And, of course, trailer reactions and, yeah, stuff like that.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And were there any channels or YouTubers in particular that inspired or prompted you to start your own channel?
Yeah, when I first started watching reactions myself, I started watching a guy called Flick Freaks. Not sure if you have heard about him.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I started watching his Game of Thrones reactions, and that's when I kind of fell in love with the concept. So, yeah, I thought that maybe I should start doing this myself. I always wanted to do YouTube, and this is a nice way to train myself to become a YouTuber. So that's also one of the reasons I started doing reactions.
Well, you've done well so far because your channel really
Thank
has progressed within such a short space of time. So yeah, no, I'm very familiar with Flick Freaks, and especially his mustache. So
yeah,
yeah, no, yeah, reactions. Reaction channels are also part of the thing that wanted me to get started. But although, admittedly, it was more rant videos that made me want to get started, and review channels like Cover Killer Nation and stuff like that. So that was my deal with this sort of thing. So yeah, let's see. Yes. So obviously, when you started your channel, you did a lot of try not to laugh challenges, as you mentioned, and you still do them quite often. You've done a Deek the One, you've done Moriki HD, and now you're doing Chris Animac. But you used to only speak in Norwegian in your early videos. Was it hard for you
yeah.
to? Was it hard for you to start doing videos in English, or not really?
Yeah, it was extremely hard for me to start doing videos in English because a year ago I could hardly speak English at all. So that's why we talked in Norwegian, because I wanted to make my content for Norwegians. But it turned out no Norwegians was actually watching.
Because they're too
yeah.
busy on black metal bands.
Yeah. So no, there was only mainly Americans watching. So after a little while, I started speaking English more and more, and yeah, now it's pure English. And also my wife is speaking English now in the videos she is on.
Yeah. And Claudio, do you have anything you want to ask?
No, I was just I know of your channel. I think I watched a couple of your videos as well. I
Okay.
know you do reactions to, as Russell mentioned, like try not to laughs, and you do a bunch of epic rap battles as well.
Yeah, I have done. I think I have like 8 left or something.
Oh,
So I have done them
okay,
weekly for yeah, quite some time. So
that's cool.
yeah, always been my goal to go through them all, or not to begin with, because I'm not into hip hop at all. Hip hop is
Mm,
the genre I like the least, I think. But
okay.
after starting with the ERBs, which was very hard to begin with, I kind of learned to like it, and it's also a
Hmm.
very nice way to learn history. Because you know, Russell, from
Yeah.
listening to my ERBs, that I am not a history man. Not at all.
Mm. Interesting, interesting. You're from Norway. Uh, what what was it that you thought? I mean, obviously you started because you wanted to do YouTube. I get that, but
Yeah.
what made you want to do YouTube? I mean, was it watching reaction videos, or was it like why did you want to become a YouTuber to begin with?
No, the reason I wanted to do YouTube is because I always wanted to do something different. Because I've always struggled in my work life. I never
Yeah.
find a job I can keep, and I actually recently found out that I am just not able to work with other people. So I always
Hmm.
wanted to start doing something with by myself. And
Yeah.
so YouTube became more interesting to me as I grew up, and I started watching YouTube myself. And yeah, so that's why I kind of aimed at YouTube.
Okay. Interesting.
Hmm.
That's cool.
That's
Yeah,
So
also cool.
that's mainly what you do. You do YouTube. That's basically what you. Is that your job
yeah,
now, or
I'm
what?
trying to get this to be my job. In Norway, we
Great.
have a. I'm not sure if you have this in Sweden, Claudio. You might have, because I think the system is quite the same. I'm not
Yeah.
sure, but we have a system where you can actually apply to start your own business. So I
Yeah.
started Massive Destiny Entertainment, and then you get paid from something called NAV. I'm not sure if you are familiar with that.
Familiar. I'm familiar with. Yeah, but that's the Norwegian version of. Yeah, I know. I know
Yeah,
what it is. I know what
so
it
they
is.
can pay.
It's for like entrepreneurs and people trying to start businesses and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And yeah, they can pay me for up to a year,
Mm.
about a year,
Okay.
Hmm.
to see if this is something I can make a living out of,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and hopefully it will. I think I have like 7-8 months left now.
Oh well, you're doing well so far. So
Cool.
Yeah, I hope so.
everyone's
Thank you,
everyone's
Russell.
behind you. But now you say you used to struggle with work and stuff. Like, what
Yeah,
exactly like, well, what kinds of things did you used to do before doing YouTube? Like, if you feel like mentioning them, of course.
yeah. Before YouTube, I worked a lot at schools, kindergartens,
Hmm.
with kids. I actually took education to become a uh, kid and youth worker. I'm not sure how you translate that to English, but get the
Like a
education so you can work with kids in schools and stuff like that. So that's
okay.
mainly what I've been doing.
Okay. All right. Okay. And do you have any other activities or hobbies that you enjoy doing outside of YouTube?
Oh, I ain't got time for more activities, Russell. YouTube pretty much take all my time. Ask my wife; she is sick and tired of it now, I think. But yeah, it takes so much time, so there's no room for hobbies. Actually, YouTube is my work and hobby.
Hmm.
So,
Well,
but yeah, I try to play games, watch movies. So,
The
but I do
usual
that when I
stuff.
relax.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that's all right because like I totally get you because since I started doing my channel, but especially the formats I finally decided upon after all the years of not taking the channel very seriously. Like I have to now watch every piece of media that I consume, or every piece of media that I listen to. So music and anime and even sometimes movies, I have to watch it as a potential project, and I can't really like just kick back and watch it and be like, oh, just watch it just for fun, I'm like, and since doing this, and all the other anime YouTubers and music YouTubers, they weren't lying when they said this. Like the moment you start doing this sort of a thing as like a living of sorts, is your mind literally starts to focus on those little details and pick it
Yeah.
apart. So like for example, a show that I maybe enjoyed like 5 years ago before doing this, I probably think is a smoldering hot pile of garbage by now. So it's amazing what can change in just a short period of time, and doing something that is affiliated to, that's like, passion involved or something like that. So yeah, I totally get
Mm.
you in that regard.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm. Sorry, just taking a sip here. um Now, it's no secret to your audience that you're a huge Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah.
Would it be possible to explain to the listeners how you discovered Tolkien's work, and what is it about the Middle Earth franchise that you love so much?
Oh, well, I saw the movies because I have ADD, so
Mm,
I am not able to read books. I wish I would could read books, but I just can't read a book. My
mm.
concentration is just too effed up. Can I say fuck here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's too fucked up.
completely fine.
But yeah, so when the movies came, they immediately got my interest. As a fantasy, I was never a big fantasy fan before Lord of the Rings. I think
Oh,
many people
really?
actually I think many people actually discovered fantasy with Lord of the Rings.
Mm.
So, I mean, I grew up with the Neverending Story movies from the 80s, early
Oh,
90s
yes,
also, yeah.
yes.
But
Mm.
yeah, I wasn't into fantasy before Lord of the Rings now. So
Hmm.
and my wife also have this passion for Lord of the Rings.
Mm.
She also read the books,
Oh, she's
but
read the books.
yeah. So yeah, it's just a way of life almost.
So it's just everything. But yeah, no. Look, I like to read, although admittedly I haven't read for several years now because of time and everything. But for me, the reason why I never actually read any of Tolkien's books proper is because I sat down, I tried to read The Lord of the Rings, and just the way he writes is something that even another friend of mine agrees. And I'm sorry to offend any Tolkien fans listening here, but the way he writes is absolute shit. And in the way I say that is like he'll start off telling the story, and then the moment in a sentence or a paragraph he brings up something or an item or something like that, the moment he does, he starts giving a 3 4 long page history lesson of said thing, and then by then you're completely lost when he comes back to the story and progresses with it eventually, and then you're like, what just happened? You went into great detail about the stick and why it's so important, instead of maybe revealing it later as part of the plot. I don't fucking know. Like, I mean, so his world building and everything is fantastic, and the characters he crafted are also fantastic. The entire spiel with it, but it's just the way he writes is just it's so hard for a normal reader to get into it, and that was the
Yeah,
problem I had with it. That's why where the movies come in, I agree with you. They're the movies when I was younger, that got me into fantasy, along with a few other select shows, animated and otherwise. So yeah, no, I totally get you there with the movies, but yeah, it's really formed my taste with a lot of fantasy. Although admittedly, I've gone into much darker territory now. So um, let's see. How Claudio, you're really quiet back there.
Yeah, yeah, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening here.
You should change the podcast title to featuring Thomas and the Phantom.
Yeah. No, I was just listening. I was just listening. Me myself, I like Tolkien. To certain parts, I think I agree with the how he writes. It could be a bit off throwing sometimes when he's really into one thing and then something else happens, and it's a little bit all over the place sometimes, but it's really not that big of a deal for me. I
Mm.
remember reading Lord of the Rings. Uh, God, this was I don't want to say it was long ago, but it was before the movies.
Yes.
And it's actually a book. It's not three books. A lot of people,
Mm.
well, a lot of younger think that there are three books just because there are three movies. It's actually
Yeah.
the one book.
Yes.
It's just Lord of the
The
Rings.
one book
I
to
mean,
rule them all.
yeah, exactly. It's a thick motherfucker, but it's just one.
Mm.
And I read it. I read that one, and I think I read Bilbo as well. No, I read Bilbo as well, and
The
I
Hobbits, yeah.
believe, yeah, Hobbit, Bilbo, and then Smerillion as well. So I've read
Wow.
some of his. Still, I enjoyed it, because I mean, there are things like I really like the movies. The movies were really cool when they came. If you look at them now, the CGI sucks, obviously, because we've come so far. But
You
I
think
mean,
so?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Take a look at the wolf hyena looking things in the second movie.
Mm.
They're fucking horrendous. It's not very pleasant looking if you think about it. And but I mean, what I get from books is, I mean, there's some pieces missing in the movies that
Yeah.
aren't in the movies.
Yes, obviously, yeah.
I mean, big characters with a lot of importance. For example, one of them is Tom Bombadil.
Yeah.
He's not even in the fucking movies, and
Yes.
he's a big character, at least for the guys coming from Filke and out of from the Shire. So I mean, there's some upsides to reading the book, anyways. I think, even
Yes.
it's just there's some things that you get that the movies just can't give you because there's not enough time. I mean, yeah, and it's too bad that they miss some things, but I really enjoy those books. They're really nice.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
even though I haven't read the books, I know about these things. But I had big hopes when they announced a Lord of the Rings TV series. I had,
Oh,
Really?
yes.
yeah, they did Amazon Prime, was it?
I
They are,
think
yeah, they are
so.
doing a what they called a Lord of the Rings TV series. But it turned
Mm.
out it wasn't a Lord of the Rings series. It was just a Tolkien world series. So
Yeah.
Okay.
maybe Silmarillion stories from there.
If
But
they
yeah,
make a Silmarillion movie, I'd be so on board for that. But I keep hearing that the story of the Silmarillion is just way more big and epic than the Lord of the Rings story, and it would be near impossible to make into film. And apparently, some of the creatures, don't know how true this is because I've never read it, but apparently, some of the creatures, like for example, apparently one of the dragons, I believe, is so fucking big that if you had to go see that shit, even with visual effects, you'd be having a fucking heart attack in the theater when you just see this big black thing fly or something like that. Apparently, that's according to several articles I read. I don't know how accurate that is, but I mean, what else? I mean, people have seen the fucking a Death Star, and that thing is bigger than a planet sometimes. So I think they'll be okay. But yeah,
Probably.
no. The only series I know that I'm aware of is getting live action is The Witcher. Netflix is funding that, but
Really?
yes, but I don't
Hmm.
know about I don't know. Didn't know anything about the Lord of the Rings TV show, or at least Tolkien inspired a spin-off or something like that. But
No,
yeah.
there isn't really much information about that yet. But we
Mm.
know that it's coming. I think it was 2019. They were
Keep
aiming
my
for that.
eyes peeled for that. Yeah. And while we're on this subject, are you a fan of any other fantasy stories or games?
Well, I tried so many games. The last one, when you talk about it, was Witcher. But also, I can see why people like it and see why people say it's a good game. But for me, it was, I think, newer fantasy games with their amazing graphics is. I don't get the game experience. I think, like, if you play a game like World of Warcraft, for me, I think that's the limit when it comes to the graphics. The way it looks, I don't think it should look better than that.
Oh, so you prefer the graphics and stuff to be like more, how to put it, cartoony in a sense, because I
Yeah,
mean, because
cartoon,
if
yeah.
you because if you look at World of Warcraft, not just the game, if you even look at the concept art and the comic books that they've put out and stuff, the art has remained more or less the same as what it is in the game. So, and
Yeah.
it's so no, I get what you mean. A lot of gamers who used to play old school video games aren't huge on board with the more realistic graphics. So it's I guess that's where the whole generational thing comes into play. But yeah, no. I personally enjoy the Witcher games, but I haven't played the third one yet. So, and I'm fucking dying to, and I need to play it before Cyberpunk 2077 comes out. So yeah. No,
Yeah, it
but
was.
yeah, I totally get where you're coming from with that. And trying to think now. Uh, fantasy games. So does that mean you as well, like you'd play a game like Fable, the Fable games?
No, I haven't tried the Fable games.
Hmm.
Also,
Eh?
I mentioned World of Warcraft. I played that for several years. I played that for like 10 years. And by the time I played that, that was pretty much the only game I was playing, because both me and Idly, we played it like 7 hours a day. And yeah, and then the kids came, and it was a sudden stop to that. And I was kind of out. I was out of gaming after that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's understandable. Yeah, so that's the game side, and any other kinds of stories, like you say. I know you watch Game of Thrones, but is
Yeah, big fan.
anything else?
No, not really. That I'm watching. Like, you're talking about TV series now?
Yeah, well, any kind of thing that's set in a fantasy setting.
No, not that I'm not a big fan of anything else. So I can watch things from time to time, but nothing that picks up my interest too much. We
We gotta
recently
get
started
you to watch Berserk.
Yeah, that's the only. So I'm not sure if Claudio knows this, but I have never watched any animes. And Russell, he have kind of convinced me to watch Berserk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a good anime, but you gotta watch it because Russell is a bit of a weeb, so he would probably want you to watch more and more and more, and then you're gonna end up being a weeb like him, and that's just not gonna work. It's gonna be a problem for you and your wife and your kids and everybody involved.
yeah,
So just take it easy with the anime. I'm just saying.
I have a big list of suggestions from Russell.
I bet you do. I bet you do.
Yeah,
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. But it's you know what I think it's funny. We could fuck Russell over in the podcast completely.
Yeah.
Vi kan snacka norsk.
Ja, ska vi köra på?
Ja, vi kan snacka norska. Inget problem. No, but the languages are pretty similar, Norwegian and and Swedish. So I mean, it's like I guess I could understand if you don't speak too fast. Then I could understand Norwegian. I think if I understand it correctly, I think Norwegian people have easier to understand Swedish than we have to understand you.
You know,
what I
you know the reason for that?
No, not really.
Because we grew up with your children TV series, like Pippi Longstrump and Emil in Lönneberga and stuff like that. So we watched that as a kids.
Why.
So we understand Swedish through those series.
I see. That's Astrid Lindgren.
Yeah.
she did a lot of children's. Okay, that makes sense actually. Okay, cool. But Norwegian is really cool. I really like it. It's it really isn't that difficult. If you look at the writing is almost the same.
Yeah.
So it's cool. When people speak Norwegian, you just have to be on alert to see if you miss. You could miss like every word, but besides, it's really cool. I like it. I think Norwegian sounds cool.
Yeah, and we have all those dialects, so that's also make it harder to understand.
I guess, but you were from where
Trondheim.
was the place? From
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's up north. Well,
Trondheim is it's in the middle of the country.
Yeah, so
where
that'd be around Sundsvall for me. So that's
Sundsvall, yeah,
or Umeå or something like that.
Yeah,
equivalent. So that's pretty far from Gothenburg.
Yeah,
be at least like 12-13 hours of drive.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, the country. I mean, Sweden and Norway are pretty. I don't know how to explain. Long, I guess.
Yeah, far stretched.
Yeah,
it's very far stretched.
Yeah, call it tall or whatever. So I mean, you have. Yeah, and it's very interesting. It's really cool how the I mean, I guess the culture and everything is very similar, but the landscape of Norway and Sweden is completely different.
Yeah, I never actually thought
together.
of that, Claudio.
What?
I never actually thought of that.
Yeah, but it's really evident for us, we who live in Gothenburg. For example, in Sweden, we have one fjord. You have fjords everywhere. In Norway. We only have one, and the fjord that we have is actually around. I think it's like south of Strömstad. Strömstad is like 30 minutes from Halden, so it's
Okay.
just by the Norwegian border, basically.
So whenever Claudio wants to get away and have some peace and quiet at the fjord, unfortunately there are like 500 other people picnicking there and shit.
Yeah. You can't get to those. So on the because I live on the west coast of Sweden, and it's basically it's very near Norway. I mean, if I drive, I think it took us like 3 hours to go to Oslo. And I've been there for gigs sometimes, for concerts, like bands come. Yeah. And if they don't stop in Gothenburg, they stop in Stockholm. And for us, it's faster to go to Oslo than it is to go to Stockholm.
Okay.
So I've been to a few gigs in Oslo, actually. I saw Deftones there. I saw Code and Cambria. And I've seen a bunch of other bands in Oslo instead.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we go there instead. It's closer.
Huh.
So, yeah, it's pretty good. Like two
pretty
and a half, 3
good.
hours.
Yeah. A lot of concerts in Oslo.
Yeah. Oslo is nice. Besides the fact that they're building, the city is like it's like steadily always like it looks different every time I get there. New buildings and new roads, and it's kind of difficult to maneuver around Oslo, but it's a very nice city.
Yeah, but actually it's the same thing where I'm from also, Claudio. They are building things everywhere. The roads are different from time to time. And there are so many new buildings. But
so you wake up in the morning for a jog and then you're like, shit, I don't remember this turn being here. Fuck, I'm lost.
Can't find my house.
Yeah, it's almost like that in Norway. They're building everywhere, but it's because it's some of the roads in Norway are very narrow, extremely narrow when you drive your car. It's like, especially if you're in like mountainy kind of parts.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Sometimes you can just stare death in the eye, like you're just walking like 1,000 meters down a fucking ravine and
Shit.
stuff like that in Norway. Yeah. It's
Fun times.
it's very cool. Yeah, it's cool. It's a very cool country. It's a very beautiful country. I think anyway.
Now, because Claudio brought up concerts, which drives me to my next question. Now, Thomas, your audience is also familiar with the fact that you're a fan of heavy metal music because of your try not to headband challenges. Are there
Yeah.
any are there any bands or genres that you enjoy in particular, and what other styles of music do you enjoy outside of heavy metal?
Yeah, also, funny you should say that, Russell. I'm not sure if I have told you this, but yeah, I am a fan of heavy metal rock music in general. When I started doing the try not to headbang challenges from hardcore, I mentioned that I was a big fan of rock music, but I mentioned the word rock music because I'm not that into genres. So suddenly, when I did that, the first video reaction I did to his challenges was it got many views for my channel. That is.
Yeah.
So and suddenly all these metalheads started subscribing to my channel, and they thought I was like a heavy metal that I knew everything about it. Man, I wasn't. Hardcore for me was Def Leppard. So
Yeah.
and I was kind of playing along with that. So because I didn't want to lose those people, I had no idea about. Well, I've been to a Dimmy Borgir concert and I've been to many rock concerts, but I'm not that into genres. I'm like I like music and rock in general.
You just hear it and then you're like, I like this or I don't like this. It's
Yeah.
yeah, you don't whip out the encyclopedia and I'm like, what is the definition of this one?
Yeah.
So,
But I have
There's
learned.
some good.
But I have learned.
There are some good bands in Norway. I think there are some good hard rock punk bands in Norway. Actually,
Yeah, there are
There are,
many good ones.
a few cool. There are a few. I actually used to listen to a lot of hard rock and punk, Norwegian hard rock and punk when I was younger. I mean, I love Turbo Negro. Those guys are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And there's this band called Lucifer. I think they don't play anymore. There are guys from Norway as well. There are a few, like Motor Psycho. I think they're from Norway as well.
Yeah.
There are a few cool bands, actually. And then, of course, you have the metal community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we are famous for.
Everything from Abath to fucking, I think Troll might be Norwegian. I'm not sure, but I think they are.
Who?
There are a bunch of I love Satyricon. They're great. I think they're really good.
Yeah.
They're
Gorgoroth
Mayhem are
and
cool.
all that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think Mortis is Norwegian as well, if I'm not mistaken. Bursum are Norwegian. Dimmu, if you want to go into that, like Dimmu, like
Yeah.
Gorgoroth and stuff like that, Enslaved. There are a bunch of Immortal, obviously.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of cool Norwegian black bands, but they lack melody. That's the only thing. The only band that I really think is really cool. Like Satyricon does a very cool version of black metal. Those guys are very, very cool. I really like them.
Yeah.
So that's if anybody's listening and you haven't heard Satyricon, you've been missing out.
Yeah.
Listen to
saying.
this man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Claudio knows
stuff.
definitely more about Norwegian metal than me.
And you have Aha as well.
Aha, yeah, those I know.
That's good.
They never give up either.
They're playing still.
Yeah, they are still playing. And they are big in Brazil or Argentina. They are,
Really?
yeah, they are big there, so they always travel there to do concerts. But yeah, they are still very big actually. So they still travel worldwide.
Wow, cool.
But they have what do you call? They have gone separate ways so many times that
Ah.
Oh yeah.
each time they do, you just oh, not again. You
Ah,
know
they
they will get back together
reunite.
again.
Ah, okay.
So
Yeah, because I watched like a concert with Morten, the singer,
yeah,
and he's like I believe he's like almost 60 now, isn't he?
he is
I
past
think.
50. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
I
think
think he's more closing up to 60, and it's like I mean those those high pitched. No, I mean he that I don't think he have that voice anymore. I mean, just listen
Yeah.
to the old 80s. Aha, that's some castrato kind of shit.
yeah, yeah. Now he I think he is yeah, about 55, 56. Yeah, maybe around there. But he looks so young.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good genes, I guess.
yeah.
good, good genes or plastic surgery.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No,
Um,
that's not a thing over here, Russell. That's not a thing in Scandinavia. I think it's the same thing in Norway, if I'm not mistaken. But that's very unusual. Like
Yeah, plastic surgery are
it's not a thing over here at all.
Mm.
no,
Actually,
it's more
it's,
Botox.
yeah, perhaps
Yeah.
maybe somebody used that, but it's very frowned upon. Like plastic surgery is really not a good look for anyone
Yeah.
around
Well,
here. I don't think.
that's smart. That's smart because every time you see an American celebrity with that shit, you're like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So at least you got on that shit before it became a craze.
Uh,
But yeah, no, but that's awesome, Thomas. Because like at least because you're not into the whole genres thing, at least it means if people like if someone recommends you something on your channel or something, at least you kind of more open to what it is, and you kind of not really you kind of won't really expect what it is, whereas if you tell another metalhead like, oh, check these guys out. They are insert name of genre. They'll be like, oh, fucking hate that genre. Get that shit away from me. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
but
as I
that's
can,
awesome.
I listen to a lot of stuff, and I never actually. It takes a lot to actually learn about the band I'm listening to.
Mm,
Like when I was at the Def Leppard concert a couple of years ago, there was this band warming up for them that I have never heard about.
mm.
That was Five Finger Death Punch, which
oh,
was I found them awesome. They were really good for me. And then I asked Russell the other day, is actually Five Finger Death Punch a good band? And he was telling me what the people
The-
inside the metal, who are
yeah,
really into metal, what they were
y-
saying about them. And
yeah,
yeah,
and it's sad because like look, they're not my favorite band in the world, but like if I want to listen to something that's got like it's not meant to have these overly poetic and deep meaningful lyrics. I just want to listen to music that makes me feel like I want to punch kittens or something like that.
yeah.
It's like that's what they're good for. And also like I mean the music they write isn't like bad per se. I mean like yes sure they don't necessarily try anything new, but they're not a bad band. So I don't know why a lot of people are like saying like Five Finger Death Punch are the Nickelback of the metal community. I'm like, bitch, Nickelback ain't got fucking shit on Five Finger Death Punch. Like fuck Nickelback.
I like Nickelback.
Oh damn! No, just kidding. No, just kidding. Look at this photograph.
Great song.
But yeah, no. So yeah, no. But I think that's awesome that you actually have that kind of approach to going into music, because I think that actually tends to happen a lot with some people either as they get older or just in general when the how they've lived their life. So yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Good for you there.
Yeah.
And I would just want to pull it back a little bit to something concerning your channel. Now I don't know if Claudio has seen any of these videos of yours, but at some point in your videos you had these characters, these personas that you invented, like for
Yeah.
specific kinds of videos you made. Like, could you explain like where you got the idea for these characters, and like will we maybe see them pop up again in the future?
Yeah, wow, those were catastrophic. Well, each time, every time, I mean, I published a video with them. I had this small group of people who absolutely loved it, but I always lost tons of subscribers when I posted the stuff with them. So, but yeah, the first one
Oh
is
shit.
Tim.
Mm.
Tim was a guy who he don't talk. He did at the beginning, but I found that it was better that he didn't talk. He was a character I invented because you remember in the early days of my channel when I did the Addict to One challenges. Natalie, she always joined them.
Mm.
But after a little while, she got too busy with school and work. So I had to do the videos alone. But I didn't want to do them alone. So, okay,
Lonely.
what's the next best thing? I invent a character and place him beside me. And I learned how to do those split screen things where you can make it look like he is sitting next to you. So
Yes.
that's where it began, actually, with Tim.
Mm.
And he is actually just a mentally disturbed character. That is, he's not actually. I'm not sure if he is. He knows what's going on in his surroundings, but it's funny to do him. So yeah, you might see him on the channel when I further develop him. And also you have the Viking. Gunnar,
Yes.
yeah, that was I made him as a part of a new Viking series I wanted to start on the channel because I wanted to learn more about Vikings. After I last summer, me and my family we went to this Viking village in Norway. It's a new place where they live as the Vikings. And you can come in there and get stories from the Vikings and learn how the Vikings lived, and everything around you looked like it did in the ages of the Vikings. And the Vikings have always interested me. So now I wanted to use my channel to learn about Vikings. So I invented a Viking character. He was pretty brutal. So
He gave no fucks.
yeah, a lot of fucks. So he was also very fun to do. That was the first time I actually scripted something that much, because everything in those videos was scripted, of course.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't think the channel was ready for it. So, but it was fun. So I'm thinking that because I love doing skits and stuff on my channel. But
Yes.
small skits, I will continue to do them on the channel because people seem to like it.
Yeah,
Those
your intros, man. Your intros, man. Fucking hell, those are hilarious. Especially your Chris Animac one that you did. Fucking yeah. Got the damn
Yeah.
balaclava, the Nerf guns, and everything. It's so damn funny.
Yeah, that was many of them are really funny to create as well. But I never create. I can't like sit down and write a skit. I need to make the skit come
I
to me.
can't either.
Yeah.
Mine's also like it needs to be like a almost like a punchline, you know, like a quick on the go thing, almost like Vines, but not like as shitty as Vines were. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. Get like a short, sweet, to the point. I can't sit and write skits. That's why even when I did my reaction phase on my channel, like I never had all these, you know, these creative intros that I'd just get like a thing with some music and the title of my channel going over it, and then launch straight into the reaction. That's what I used to do, anyways. But now that I've
Yeah.
stopped doing them, it's just a matter of you know, start the analysis and start the countdown and present it in the way that, you know, the YouTubers that I tend to watch generally tend to do it while maybe adding a little something of my own into it at times. But I mean, I haven't gotten to that level of editing skills yet where I can, if I write if I write a joke or place a meme in it, I can't do it like the way like a creator like Gigak or something like that would do, where it's just yeah. I can't do that yet, but we'll get there someday if my jokes improve and my and my editing skills improve. So yeah. Okay, so that's for the characters, but how long does it take you on average to make a video?
Also, my videos, I edit them a lot, like a standard. You have also done reaction videos, haven't you, Claudio?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen many of your try not to headbang videos. I think you also.
I think I've done like two of those, something like that. I usually don't do the try not to laughs. I
No.
used to do them like in the beginning because I saw it as a challenge, but then I started quickly to realize that I just lose every time. I just end up laughing, and once I do that, I just laugh throughout the whole video. Anyway, so there's really no point for me to do those. And they're trying not to headbang. I think I did one or two, and those were so fucking hard.
Yeah.
I fucking
Yeah.
gave that up as well.
Yeah, but that was hardcore challenges, right?
I don't remember.
It
I
was
remember
the first
did,
one was yeah.
Yeah, like some try not to headbang, try not to tap your toe. I don't remember.
Yeah, that was hardcore's one because I remember the opening one. You literally lost on the first one because you started singing to Megadeth, and you were like, "Oh fuck, I lost," and then you were like thinking, "Oh thank God it's over," and then they started playing Meshuggah, and we all know how much you love Meshuggah, and you're like, "Fuck, this is Meshuggah."
Yeah, that shit was. Yeah, so I did a few of those actually, yes, but not that many to be honest. Just because I personally thought I sucked at it, and I do mostly reactions. I don't do them that often because I don't upload every day now.
No.
I upload like a couple of times a week, every other day. It depends. But I try to do like stuff I like.
Yeah.
Basically, that's kind of what I don't do everything that is suggested. I do I love Star Wars, so I do those. Stuff that is interesting, or something that people send me who I know are gonna send me something I will enjoy. So it's I'm a bit what's it called, selective, I guess.
Yeah.
When it comes
Yeah.
to whatever I choose to watch. Like series I follow, and I mainly now lately I've been doing mostly trailers and stuff like that.
Yes.
And some obviously Ruby, I follow that as well. So that's basically what I've been doing. I've done some music in the past.
Yeah.
I've done some reviews and some vlog and talks, and I have played some games as well. It goes up and down. It's not always the same. It depends on whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just do that instead of because at the end of the day you do it obviously because you like doing it, and once
Yeah.
you stop liking it, you don't do it anymore. So I don't want it to get to that point where I'm tired of it, and it feels like a
The
burden or
burnout.
something like that.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
legendary
I don't
YouTube
wanna-
burnout. Yeah. But
I don't want to do that.
yeah, no,
No,
and
I
that's
totally
fine.
agree
I
with
think
you,
you're at
Claudio.
I think you're at that level already, Claudio. Like I know you keep saying to me all the time when we talk about this that you don't consider yourself a big YouTuber. You're fairly small. But still, even so, like I think the level that you're at, like you can now do what you want to do because your audience now knows you so well, and that's why your channel is still seeing growth even when you like take
Yeah.
like a 2-3 week break to Japan or someplace, and then you come back and you haven't lost like a shit ton of subscribers or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they know what to expect, they know what they're gonna get. So the only time you might lose subscribers is if YouTube fucks up with the algorithm and shit again. But
Yeah.
but that's been
No,
happening to
I
all
mean
of us.
it doesn't grow that fast, but it steadily goes up. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like I don't feel like I really have to do anything for it to still grow on a daily basis. But still, obviously, I mean, if I find something that I react to that becomes a hit,
yeah.
then I see a spike in growth. I mean, I was very quick to do the. I don't know if you remember this. Like a year ago, they did this America First videos.
Oh yes, I
Uh,
Yeah.
remember those.
I was quick on the first one they did on Trump for some reason.
Mm,
Uh, I don't know why, if somebody suggested it or however it was, but I was very quick on that one, and I saw a spike in growth just because of it. I think that video has a bit over 100,000 views at this
Wow.
yeah,
point,
I think it's your
and
most watched video, if I'm not
I think
mistaken.
it's one of the most watched, and I know I have some metal videos up there as well. Same with some superhero thing video and something with a game, like I guess Witcher or something like that. I'm not sure, but it's
Yeah,
like so that's mainly what my channel consists of, like stuff I like doing, and
yeah.
and that is represented in the popular uploads, and then I have the sections I have in my what's it called in the when you enter my page you can see that I have games, vlogs, unboxings,
Oh, playlist. Yeah,
Playlist, yeah.
and yeah, the playlists, yeah. So you can kind of see whatever and if you look at when I was in there last, you could see I was active with games like 11 months ago. That was the last time I did a game. So
mm,
that's a while.
yeah,
And I haven't vlogged for like a year, and the
mm,
reviews I stopped doing those for like 7 months ago, so you could kind of see that. So sometimes you know I just drop it and I pick it up again whenever it feels like I want to watch, because if I don't feel it, then it's not gonna be like genuine, it's just gonna be like
yes,
like a job,
forced.
and this is not my job. This is something I love doing. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. No,
So
and
yeah.
Yeah,
I totally get that.
me as well. Also, I'm trying to make this my job now, but I also need
Ah,
to have I need to have fun with it. I can't
Yeah,
yeah,
do.
that's the most important thing.
Yeah, it is because you will get tired of this pretty fast if you just
Mm,
do videos because you see.
you have to.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. So no,
mm,
everything I do on the channel now is things I do because I find it fun. But also I do
Yeah.
mm,
every Wednesday now. I do requests. So if people want me to see a video, I do that.
Mm.
This Wednesday I did two. I never heard of anything of it before. One of them was a anime game, I think. Touhou 15.5.
oh, Toho,
Toho,
yeah.
yeah. I've never seen
Oh,
anything
okay.
of Toho, never heard about it. But this guy,
Okay.
he wanted me to check it out, and I did, and I was super confused, but it was awesome. And
No, but yeah, the problem with the Toho thing is that like even I don't really know what it is other than the fact that it's a gaming franchise of sorts, and it's not just limited to games. There's an entire community that has like you actually get a Toho metal community. There are a lot of Japan's biggest melodic death metal bands started off as Toho
okay,
bands. So like bands like Undead Corporation or can't remember what was the other one called Thousand Leaves or something. I can't remember, but they were very Children of Bodom, Dark Tranquility sort of sounding, and they all started off as Toho metal bands, and all their songs were about like characters and stuff from the games and stuff. So that's the extent of my knowledge concerning Toho. So I can understand why it would be so confusing. It's not like a lot of other things that tend to be suggested to reactors the first time, which generally make sense, even if you're not familiar with the material. So I totally get why you were confused in the reaction and you were just like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, I was. But it's fun. It's fun to discover new things. So
Mm,
even though that's not necessarily things I like those Wednesdays, there are still new things to me. So
mm,
it's still fun because it's new.
mm.
So
Because I notice your channel is it's because as we've been talking about it, your channel's kind of like Charmix's channel in the sense that you have a whole series of videos that you do. It's
yeah,
like sure Charmix takes requests, but if you look at Charmix's entire video roster, like he's got his A Dick the One series, he's got his Murray QHD series, he's got his Grand A or Tomodachi Smash series, and it goes on and on and on like that.
yeah,
It's very rare that he will react to something completely random and just out there that he's like, okay, what the hell is this? So that's where your Wednesday thing, your Wednesday request thing, kind of comes into play. It's like a nice little breather and a break between doing the regular series.
yeah. And
Mm.
also, you get to see new stuff. Maybe discover something new, new hobby, a new, maybe a new TV series, new game or something. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like
Or
to
a
have.
new series because like there are only so many epic rap battles that have been made and only so many Eurovision contestants like
Oh yeah,
you're going to be there. Like once Eurovision's over, then you're like, fuck, what do I do next? So
yeah.
you got to like search the requests and be like, fuck, I've got to find a series now. So yeah, no, I totally get that. I totally get that. That's why when it comes to my channel, that's why I've decided to do both music and anime because this whole situation with the Wi-Fi concerning my brother means that I actually can't really keep up with the seasonal anime thing, and this whole seasonal anime thing is unfortunately what the majority of the current modern anime community likes to do. They like to watch
Yeah.
all the new shit and all that, but they tend to forget about the stuff that aired like a month ago within a second. Whereas you have a lot of people like saying like, dude, this is like classic material that can be talked about for ages, and they're like, like kind of like the people who are into pop, like, yeah, no, that song is old already. Let's go Harlem Shake now, some shit like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, so I my channel like if I experience those moments where I'm like, okay, I'm falling behind with the seasonal anime, what do I do? So then I'll put up a bit more music related stuff because I mean I have a lot of music, not just CD wise, but I've got on my computer and everything like that. And I mean, with music, you're always discovering new things when you listen to an album over and over again. So you can talk about something new about it, even if it's about the same band or something like that, same genres. And older anime, there are plenty of older animes that have come out. Like I mean, Neon Genesis Evangelion came out like 20 something years ago. People still watch it, people still break it down, they still analyze it, everyone interprets it differently. So I could make a whole series of Evangelion videos if I wanted to, and I think they'd still do pretty well considering. So it's not a total train smash. So yeah. um is there anything else you maybe want to ask, Claudia?
Hello.
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 Thought we lost you there for a second.
No.
Okay,
But
so
I think I forgot to answer
let's.
you about the question. How long do I take to create my videos?
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
I answered that.
No.
Because
We got
uh,
sidetracked.
Yeah.
because that can really it really depends on the video. I can actually spend days creating our reactions,
Hmm.
and I can do it in 1 hour. So
Hmm.
really depends on what I'm doing. But those 1 hour reactions, those are pretty rare.
Hmm.
Because I always try to develop my reactions. I try to have a certain style with those intros, and it takes time to create that. So
Yes, definitely.
yeah, so it from 1 to 2 days is pretty normal, but I try to do one each day. But and also because of my the reason because I edit a lot in my videos, and the reason I started doing that was of course because of my English. But I actually found that turned into a certain style, a fast editing style when I'm talking, and I think that I think it looks interesting, at least more interesting than hearing me talk live without any edits.
Yeah.
So
No, but it's like I said when we first spoke on Skype, Thomas, is that it definitely works in your favor because
yeah,
like if we compare your reactions to your average reaction channel, like I mean, there's so many reaction channels, but
yeah,
like because a lot of people are trying to ride on the coattails, you know, of the big reactors and stuff. But but even the big reactors, like you just need, like, and I mentioned this before, you just need to look at a guy like Tyron Magnus. Like, I mean, his videos literally consist of an intro with a title thing. He does
yeah.
his reaction talk straight, and then he's got an outro. Like he doesn't, you know, add anything to it. But you,
No.
on the other hand, you know, you come up with these comedy skit intros or sometimes, and then even when you don't, like as you said, you say it's because of you know your English, but it then becomes, as you say, a clever editing technique, and I think that's what really helps make your videos, you know, become of a higher production quality than your average reaction channel.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very glad to hear you say that. Because, yeah, I work very hard on my reactions. It's a weird thing to say that you're working hard on reactions because it sounds way off. But
Yeah.
I try to make it my own videos. So, but I'm not monetizing anything now because I feel that I can't do that because what I'm reacting to isn't something I made myself. But I'm trying to develop my channel to go in that direction. That I feel like I can monetize it. So and I want to take. So I said earlier that I want to do other stuff than reactions, and I'm starting a skit channel with a name I found out I actually stole from you. Yeah, but I want to take my reactions further. So
You need to find. I think you need to find like whatever it's fun doing, and like get a formula and get content because I
yeah,
mean Russell mentioned like the old reactors like Tyrone Magnus. I mean that guy releases like five videos a day.
yeah,
Like almost every day. That's just the saturation. He gets he forces his name out there.
yeah, he does.
And that's one way. That's one way to do it. And then you have other ways. People have tried different things, but what I've noticed actually works the best is to do that. I remember when I started doing reactions, I did that for a while just to test it out, right? Just to test it because when you started, I did reactions to a lot of stuff. Many of the things I did reactions to, I didn't even want to react to. I just did it because I thought this could be something interesting, right? And I noticed that when I released like 2-3 videos a day, it got, the channel grew faster than I've ever anticipated.
Yeah.
I stopped doing that after a while because that wasn't what I wanted to do, but I actually tried it and it does work. So if you want to boost, just go all in. If you don't have a job, go all in and do like 2-3 a day, and you'll see that you're gonna spike in growth. You're gonna take off.
I believe you on that.
That does happen. That does happen.
Yeah.
Either that, or you just spam your videos in Reddit until you get banned by the groups.
No, I know what you're saying, Claudio. So I did actually. There was a period where I did a couple of videos each day, But that was
Okay.
before I started doing more with my reactions,
Oh,
because I
okay, I see. I see.
developed them to contain more content, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no,
I want.
that what rule of thumb should be like if you have a reaction video, I mean, I don't time it, but I'd say if I react to a video that's 2 minutes, for example,
Mm,
just to make it simple, I make sure that the whole video is at least 3 minutes. No, I mean at least 6 minutes.
yeah.
You know,
Mm.
if the video I watch is 2 minutes, I make sure that the video in total is at least 6 minutes, because I mean, it's not just play and go. It's that you have to add something to it,
Yeah.
like any like thoughts, like
Yeah.
whatever you have, like you know, like what are you? Why is this interesting? You know.
Yeah.
Like you could have expectations at the beginning. What is this? What is this going to be?
Yeah.
Who send you the video? What are we gonna do with this? Hopefully it's good, you know, whatever. And then you can have like something at the end as well. So you add automatically to the video,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a fair way to to release videos, because in a way I think, like, I mean, if you watch a teaser trailer that's like fucking 1.5 minutes and you have 7 minutes of content, I'd say that the majority of the video is you doing some form of analysis, even though it's not in depth. It's
Mm.
still plenty.
Yeah.
I mean, the ratio. You know, you have to think about the ratio.
Yeah.
I don't like. I wouldn't feel comfortable reacting to a 3-minute video and the video in total being 4 minutes.
No, that's
You know what I mean?
that would just be
Yeah.
the
Then
video.
you'll.
So
Yeah. Then
yeah,
you'll just
then I
be. You'll just be Jinx again.
Yeah, just watching the video and saying, "All right, guys, see you in the next one," and do it. You know, that's really, you know, I mean, I don't know, that's really not adding anything to
no.
it. You know, so that's how I think anyway. I see that's a rule of thumb. That's something I try to follow, at least. Just, I mean, for my own sake, just because it feels like a ripoff if I don't. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Know what you mean.
That's kind of how I think anyway. Yeah.
A perfect example
Yeah.
of videos that I have developed are. I'm not sure if you remember my early ERBs, Russell. The reactions I did for them when I first started doing them, because I was only doing that. I did if a video was if a ERB was like 2.5 minutes, the video I made
Yeah.
was like 4 minutes. So yeah, but what I don't like about that is that those are the ones that have the most views.
Yeah,
Um,
people unfortunately, for the most part, have a very short attention span on the internet. So
Yeah,
that's
that is
they
so
just want the
sad.
bite-sized. Yeah, it is, especially when you like put so much, you know, so many hours into a video, and then you like check the analytics, and it's like, oh well, fuck, they only watched the first minute,
Yeah.
or barely even.
But at the end, I mean, you're doing this because you like doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever. If people don't watch it, then that's their loss.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I see it anyway. And
Yeah.
I think that's the way to do
Yeah.
it. You know, I think that's the best way to do it, because that'll be the way that you can, you know, keep
Yeah.
on going.
Yeah.
It will
You
be
know?
the way. It will be the
Yeah.
way. Claudio knows
The
the way.
No, and after a while I started. Then I added the top 10. Yeah, I made this top 10 list, which made it a bit more interesting. And but after a while on my channel, I started using more skits and comedy. I wanted to be funny. I'm not always succeeding, but then I started because everyone knew that when I was watching the ERBs, I had no idea what I was watching. History is my weakest point in life. Yeah, and then I started making this analysis of the ERBs, trying to make an analysis of the history and the
And actually
references in them,
understand,
which
yeah.
I didn't get any one of. And so I think it adds more fun to it when I do that. So now I have the top 10
Yeah,
and the
definitely.
analysis where I go through the whole video a second time.
Yeah,
So
definitely. I noticed when you started doing that, like the video, your reaction video would be way longer than the actual rap battle, and then like after it's over, you'd actually go back, you'd like watch a part of it, pause it, and then you'd actually, you look up the stuff, and then you say, oh, this is what it means, this is what it means, and then you compare it to, as you say, your list, your
yeah,
top 10, and then whatever gets knocked down, whatever stays up, and
yeah,
yeah, no, that you're right, that is an interesting way to do it, because most people who react to the epic rap battles or something similar to that are just like, well, yeah, we reacted to it. Cheers, bye.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, we're over an hour now. We're gonna have to cut the podcast short here, guys.
Okay.
But it was great having you on, Thomas. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
taking time out
Thank
of
you
your
for
day to
having
join
me.
us.
It was my first podcast experience.
It was always a pleasure, man.
Cool.
And you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so guys, once again, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, please be sure to check out Thomas' channel if you're interested in checking it out. It is in the description box below. And at the end of the video, if you want to follow me on social media, links are in the description and everything like that. You can check out my Patreon as well for reward tiers. And last but not least, please show my friend Claudio some love and support as well. His channel is also linked in the description box as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, guys, until the next episode or the next video, take care of yourselves. And as always, have a kick-ass day. Woo!
Woo.
Bye.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this episode. Please be sure to show Thomas some love and support by checking out the link to his channel, which is in the description box below and at the end of the video. Also be sure to show my buddy Claudio some love and support as well if you're interested in checking his channel out. Finally, if you're interested in following me on social media or donating to my Patreon to keep the channels going, the links will be in the description box as always. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a like and share it with your friends and leave a comment in the comment section below. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, once again, and until the next episode or the next video, take care of yourselves, and as always, have a kick-ass day. Bye!